15 fun facts about invisible ink you should notice. 1. What they are made of. Do you know what invisible inks are made from? The invisible ink you can find mostly can be made from many types of organic liquid. As a secret message, they can be made from easy-to-find materials. It can be made of orange juice, lemon juice, vinegar, and also Coca-Cola. 2. How invisible ink works. Whenever you receive a secret message written by invisible ink, you can try to apply these methods. To read them, you can expose the message with heat like under the iron or maybe over the candle flame. When they use organic materials, the acids in it can turn into a different color. 3. Founded as the first secret communication. As a background story, invisible inks are found to be the first secret way of communication. It started with the Roman poet, Ovid, who wrote elaborate instructions to lovers in his Ars Amatoria. He taught wives to communicate in secret with their husbands. His poet wrote, "Characters written in fresh milk are a well-known means of secret communication." It also writes to touch the messages with a little powdered charcoal so they can cut them. 4. As an entertainment in 18th century. In the 18th century, the discovery of invisible ink was such a huge phenomenon. To be specific, it became huge in England and France since they made invisible ink into entertainment. 5. Can be exploded. Back then, in 1736, there was an accident that happened to Jean-Jacques Rousseau. He was experimenting with a dangerous type of sympathetic ink. So, those ink was made from orpiment, which is a rare mineral and contains arsenic sulfide with quicklime. When he mixed it, it suddenly fizzed and exploded in his face. 6. Used in World War I. This happened when America just entered the First World War. There was a gathering of the country's intelligence that was coordinated by the Office of Naval Intelligence. The pamphlet used chemical inks that were employed at that time. They used basic materials such as milk and lemon juice as well to make invisible ink. 7. German leads the development of it. At the beginning of the war, the Germans actually used inks that are made from fever and headache remedies and laxatives. It is also used because those medicines are handy so they could easily pass off as other medicines. One time, the Allies were caught and they were pushed to develop the inks outside. 8. The use of it was reduced after Cold War. During the Cold War, countries were being totally serious about developing spy tools. They also researched more about effective and sophisticated invisible inks. By that time, the Cold War seems to have ended. The number of physicists and chemists that worked on the development of invisible ink was reduced. 9. Called the medicine. Do you know that invisible ink once called the medicine? Major Benjamin Talmage made a group that used numerical codes and pseudonyms to pass some information. They used those codes to prevent being discovered. At that time, they used invisible ink as well. Those ways make Washington get some strategic information. 10. New formulated invisible ink on World War II. Linus Pauling, as a chemist, worked on a wartime project. He was in charge of formulating new kinds of invisible ink. The purpose of those new kinds of invisible ink was to resist them to all known reagents. The way to read messages on those invisible messages is to dip it in a dye solution. But the ink never passed the experiment.